the Russian defense, the Petrov defense on hold, played the Berlin takes, and going straight into the Berlin ending, knight g5, knight d4.
So how exactly can one beat Wesley when he's playing the Petrov and the Berlin? I mean, these are the two most difficult openings to beat with the white pieces when you start with one e4. Is just brutal.
Yeah. Knight, help me out here on this one, Christian. Knight g5, knight d4. These two moves, they look, to my eyes, off the beaten path.
For who?
For
white.
For white, right?
For white.
Yes, I think he missed this move, knight to d4. Isn't this just winning a pawn?
Well, it sure looks that way to me, to my eyes as well.
Just
He's
take on
played
c2,
the move bishop g5, gifting the pawn. Not that there's anything wrong with the pawn gift. I like that, but also bishop e7.
But you usually get something in return for the pawn gift. You're not getting anything in this situation.
I'm not sure that's true.
I'm kind of Yasser, come on.
I'm kind of thinking that this pawn is pretty isolated.
This is absolutely shocking to me that you haven't taken that pawn on c2.
Well, I want that one, but I want that one too.
This is the biggest shock of this broadcast.
Paradigm shift. Yes or no, grabbing a pawn.
And this is, I don't know, if you play rook c2, shall we just have a quick look with me for a second here. I'm going to play rook here, pawn here, and I'm going to lasso the e5 pawn.
Yes,
no, he's taking it. He's taking it. He didn't play.
No one believes you. I mean, I understand you're trying to cover your tracks, but no one believes you. You're going to take that pawn instantaneously.
Okay. Well, he sure did, and Wesley said, look, upon my word, the knight, by the way, will have a gorgeous square on D. I mean, that's an outpost that you are not kicking me out of. This is a blunder.
It is. It's not a pawn sacrifice. Let's just put it this way.
It's a blunder.
It's a pawn blunder right now.
But the shocking part is Levon has been preparing the Berlin himself.
Right.
I mean, he's been playing and very successfully as black, and then he gets the position as white and he blunders a pawn.
You know how difficult the Berlin and how confusing the Berlin is, right?
Right.
You can play with the black pieces, with the king on e8, with the king on c8, the bishop on d7, the bishop on e6. There are so many iterations of the Berlin. You can easily get lost. And this is exactly what seems to have happened with Levon in this case. A miracle will save him because this is just a pawn up and it's such a healthy pawn, right?
It
you
is
have
a
that
very
beautiful majority on the queen side. Once you start that roll, you put the knight on d6, b6, c5, c4 is going to be suffocating for white species.
Is there any hope? You know, I'm thinking, you know, yes, he's a pawn down. Whoops-a-daisy, you made a blunder. The game continues, right? You can go f4, f5, try to get some activity rolling.
You can try. You can definitely try.
Okay, so he's put his knight on e4, which was also something that I thought about, but then I thought that black will simply go bishop e7. And I don't see it.
Any takers?
I really don't understand what's wrong with you guys. Take the pawn. Take the pawn.
Take it. Is there any takers for knight takes a2?
I'll take it. Yes, thank you very much.
That's two very good pawns, right?
That's two pawns. Yes.
Yeah, and if you move your bishop in order to play knight g5, you're not scaring anybody.
That is two pawns, and I'm a hungry man.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the biggest compliment since the show began. All right, we're greedy for pawns. Knight takes a2 certainly has my attention. h7, h6, knight d5.
Pretty sure Wesley's thinking
about it.
Wesley's thinking about it too.
He's taking pawns that I thought he shouldn't grab.
Right, but just for fun, I mean, come on, really, where's the compensation?
That's a good question.
Where is the
f4, come on, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so I just want to stop any future knight g5 ideas.
Bishop h4.
Let's go. Bishop e7. That was a
Okay,
big huff and a puff.
It was a big huff and a puff. Okay, I can't obviously swap that off, so
Bishop. Where are you
Back.
going? Back.
back to F2.
Brilliant. Okay.
Beautiful.
And your whole F4, F5
okay.
is suddenly in tatters.
All right, is he taking it or not?
Knight. Okay, I have an idea. Knight C5. Okay. Ooh.
Trade them off. Trade them off.
Yeah.
More trades. More trades.
Yes. F5.
Right.
There you go. Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Small victories.
And that's it.
It's the little victories that count. By the way, it's 4 versus 1 on the queen side. I've got some good news. I've got some bad news. You got your F5, but yeah, well, knight takes A2. He doesn't have that much time, does he? I mean,
7 minutes for both players. 7 minutes and 40 seconds for Levon. He's trying to speed things up, trying to put some pressure on the clock. Wesley, 7 minutes, thinking about munching on that pawn, and he does.
And he convinced himself. The more he looked at it, he said, "You know what? You don't even have the usual compensations that you might think you have. F4, F5, G4, G5, G4, F5. It's not there.
No, it's not there.
It's just not.
Am I the only one who has like a running commentary going on when they play chess? Like you put on voices, and you kind of try to make it into like some kind of drama thing. Like for me, if I take that pawn, I'll put on like this British voices. I'll have that.
Okay, I'll have that.
I'll have that. Thank you very much.
I do have this dialogue with my pieces when I'm at play. Like I just, say to them, like, okay, you bring it home. Like that I'm coronating you. You're the chosen one. Like victory is assured. But as a commentator, no, I'm so respectful of yourself and Christian that I don't even think of going. And if you believe that,
you believe anything. Okay. So
what is Levon going to do? Come on. People, come up with something.
There's nothing. I mean, he's not coming up with anything either. I think he just bluffed. He bluffed. Wesley thought for a little
bluff.
bit.
Well,
there you go. G4.
Okay, I mean, Jovi, you were reaching for the F pawn, but I think this is a prelude to F4, F5, and he's done it, and he said, okay, what else am I supposed to do? The only thing I have is my majority is on the king side, and here we were thinking just simply knight D5, F5, something like king F7, and you know what? I really do like the move H6. I really like stopping any, finagles with knight G5.
Maybe even bishop E7.
Maybe even bishop E7. But by the way, I was looking. Yeah.
You were trying to get knight D3.
Well, knight D5, F5, bishop E7. Sure. This is H6. That's such a useful.
Knight D5. Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It all is very logical, isn't it?
Right, it totally is.
One thing I can tell you, I think we're going to see a modern next game.
Well,
that's if Wesley opens with E4.
He will.
Well, no, he'll open up with D4. We'll still see the kind of a modern, some kinds of King's Indian.
Usually players, whenever you go D4, G6, players with the white pieces play E4.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it's considered to be such a good opening for white, objectively.
By the way, I mean, you've played F4, and I understand, you've got to get your majority going, but just, after you've played F5, King D7, you kind of come to a stop once again, because you've played F5, but you don't really want to capture on E6. And if you bypass, well, it's sort of like you have a protected pass pawn on F6, which is actually pretty firmly blockaded for the time being. So I don't know. I just don't see what all of this demonstration is going to bring. Just to finish that point that I was making, F6, here. Now is a perfect time to get in the bishop E7 move. Wow. Bishop takes E7, king takes E7, a dream come true for Berlin. Shall we see what's going on in the Alice League?
Yes.
30 seconds.
Sorry, 30 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yes.
And he is
Is
a
a
whole
rook.
rook down.
But okay, he's in for a penny, in for a pound. This was the exchange sacrifice. I wasn't even sure I wanted to take it. I wanted to play King D7, and Levon saying, "No, I'm going to try to go hog wild with something like Knight F6, Rook takes E7."
How do you do? Hog wild?
I don't
What if
know
I go knight back, knight d3?
Knight E3 makes sense, and then he could just go all in, yes. Okay, yes.
Knight F6. I was going to
F6.
take it and go Knight D6 check. That
Okay,
was
yeah.
my hope was to go Knight D6,
Knight
get
D5.
two connected pass pawns.
I think, yeah. And now
Yeah.
you can go G.
Bishop e7,
No,
Bishop
yes,
E7.
Bishop E7.
king
and-
f8.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a rook down after that.
Don't
is
bother
that?
me with the details. I'm just telling you how you're going to win this game.
You are a rook and 2 pawns down. Now you're just a rook down.
Yeah. Okay. Rook F7 on the board, and Wesley, plenty of time against 30 seconds. We think that,
Is there any way for Wesley to go wrong? So, for instance, say he doesn't go Knight E3,
Oh,
tries to go
I'm sure
Rook
there.
C8 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there are 100. Like this is one way where suddenly you've got these two pass pawns that are
Right,
terrifying.
but if you go G5, I mean, how dangerous is it?
Oh, you even have G5. That's a setback.
It is, but,
Oh dear. Sorry. It seems like
By
he
the
did
way,
play Rook C8.
Wesley really loves his pawns.
Wow.
This is what I was wondering, right? So if you just take some negative decisions.
Rook C8, Bishop F6.
Don't take on f6.
No.
Don't touch that bishop. That's one thing you shouldn't do.
And that's how you go wrong. You take the bishop, and then here, at last, we do see a checkmate. So you didn't take the bishop. Oops, excuse me. That was my dad. And I will just refresh my board. It will only take me a second. Rook C8. Rook G8. H5. I mean, talk about going all in, all in, all in. There you go. I would take that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? HG.
No, he brings his knight back to the game.
Okay, so take. Oh, then you take with a check. 5 seconds and G6. Oof. Okay, now you can just
you'd
bring
go
your
back
knight
knight
back.
to F5 or knight D5.
It's a beautiful protected square. Bishop E7 is next.
And Levon, 10
Oh,
seconds.
Bishop 7. Maybe Bishop takes E7 and Knight F6 check.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
No, knight f6 I take, and I take on g6 with check.
Yeah.
Maybe knight d6.
maybe Knight D6.
But even then, I'll give you the rook. I'll take that. I'll take on g6. You go d7. I go king d8.
What about if you go Bishop
He's
E7?
asked the same question I asked.
7
What about Bishop?
seconds.
7?
5, 4.
He's taken,
Takes.
and you got to go Knight D6 check or Knight F6. No, Knight F6. You told me the G6 pawn is
Yeah.
hanging with check. There he goes. Knight D6 check.
Take on g6.
And now you said you're just going to give me the rook.
I'll give you the rook. Yes.
So you're going to move the knight by capturing the
Yeah,
pawn.
I'll
and Wesley
take the pawn.
goes for that.
h4.
H4 instantly.
H5.
I mean, what is Levon Levon is sacrificing everything.
I'll play h5.
I would go Rook D8. I'll sidestep the big threat.
And Wesley, with under 3 minutes, has all the time in the world.
To
I mean, could he even go
how about
knight takes pawn?
Knight e5.
Oh, but there you have a draw, right? Because the rook will go to E7.
Oh my gosh.
Have one check. No, you don't
That
have to draw. You
is
have one check.
that is probably the most unexpected perpetual check you'll ever see in your life. You're a rook and a knight and many pawns down, and you took the wrong pawn. Oh my goodness. So not that one.
Rook d8, knight e5. There's so many ways.
And guys,
Don't play
Alice
rook
is gonna.
f8.
Alice looks like she's well on the way to winning her game with the black pieces.
Oh my goodness. Okay, as we do expect, Wesley to win that.
No.
We had a short break a while ago, didn't we?
Well, they'll play as soon as this game is finished.
Okay. Shortly after this game is finished, then they'll probably return in 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever.
Wesley
that is.
really doesn't want to give any pawns. Knight f8.
And look at that move. Boy, he loves his pawns. Rook
Clinical.
d8.
And that's it, handshake. And Levon gives up. There's nothing to be done with those rooks and 2 pawns. And Levon cannot believe it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've seen those big poker pots where a guy's holding absolutely nothing.